Hi and welcome to my Bridgerton Season 2 review video. Now this season was really good. I loved it for many different reasons. I love number one, I was a little bit sad that the Duke wasn't going to be back, but this season still delivered in its own different way. It wasn't the same as season 1, but we have new characters in there and everything, and I love that. It has its own kind of charm. I did like it slightly less than the first season though, but still the storyline was great. It was a more traditional type storyline, I think. You're two different people who are not meant to be together, or allowed to be together I should say, fall in love and then end up being together kind of thing, which was brilliant. But I think the actors made it brilliant as well, along with everything else about, the costumes, the cinematography, the music, all the colours and everything just really added to Bridgerton and the theme and the world that they are in. And I love listening out for the different songs too. I think they had Wrecking Ball in this one. So cool. So cool. I always find the music really beautiful, and yeah, I love it. It's probably one of my favourite parts of Bridgerton. It kind of just makes it its own, it just helps make it this unique show that it is. And of course I loved having, I love interracial couples. I'm in an interracial relationship, but I just love seeing that on screen. I find it beautiful, and I found it really refreshing to have two of the main actresses being of Indian descent. I think it was amazing. These girls are just absolutely stunning. I think Kate was so lovable, she's a really great actress, and just being that tomboy for me was yeah, I like this girl. I think she was just a really cool character and really lovable. And Edwina was too. She was just really sweet and a lovable character as well, but I just related more to Kate, I feel. While I did feel sorry for Edwina throughout the whole show, which I'll go on about that, but definitely related more to Kate. So this season is all about Anthony. Anthony is a brilliant character as well. I loved him from season 1, I must admit. I did. The actor's brilliant. Not just the actor, the character itself. I know there are some parts that I believe aren't in the book, with the prostitute that he was dating. I don't believe that was in the book. I could be wrong though, because I haven't finished the book. I'm kind of in the middle of reading it now. So some parts that I feel they made more for Anthony to be in, even though he's in it quite a lot in season 1, in the book as well. I feel they made a lot more story to him, that we can fall in love with Anthony, and ready for season 2. We're it's Anthony. We love Anthony already. Yeah, I love Anthony, and he was just so charming in this season. And I feel getting rid of the massive sideburns was definitely a good idea. He's a really brilliant main character, and it was just beautiful seeing his chemistry with Kate. Them two just did it so well. You can see the love they have for each other, especially, I'm not saying especially him, I think both, but from the start you could see he was who is that girl? He was hooked from the start. I think he also carried it well, considering the Duke wasn't in there anymore, and we don't really focus on Daphne. We're going from season 1. It's a unique show where it's not the main characters are the same the whole way. I'm gonna guess that yes, generally they are, but it just focuses on different storylines the whole way, and that's quite unique. Can't really think at the top of my head of many shows that do that, and that's obviously following from the books. But I feel season 2 still was so likable, and I'm not seeing any bad reviews about it. Everyone was saying they're pleasantly surprised that even though the Duke wasn't in there, that they're really enjoying it. As I said, how he was in season 1 and he had his love interest, I forgot her name, but that prostitute girl. I feel that's when he became really likable towards the end. I think it was the last episode or second to last. There was a scene with her and she's I'm with someone else because he's not afraid to be seen with me. And that moment when he realized damn, I stuffed up, that was when I feel it broke my heart for him, and I feel I was interested in him and him finding someone, because you have your younger sister who's married off, he's the eldest, he's got so much weight and responsibility, and yet he's still this single man, which oh my gosh, in this day and age, who cares? But back then it's I think it's more stricter for the girls to get married, but still you see the older guy who doesn't have a wife yet, so I think he's expected to marry. I also absolutely loved how it went into the history of his father, and you sort of see how he felt like it was his fault, and they did that a lot with the Duke last season as well, how they showed a bit of history of like why he didn't want to have kids and why he had that relationship with his father, like how it built up to that. With Anthony, it was just really sad how it showed, the moment his father died and he had to take that full responsibility for basically the Bridgerton name, the Bridgerton family. And I feel like it was beautifully portrayed, just something so little with that bee. And then that bee coming again, like in that scene with him and Kate, how the bee stung her. My heart was like beating in that moment. I remember, I just think it was done really brilliantly, whether that's in the books or not. I just thought that scene was, I think it was a turning point for their relationship as well. Now Edwina, sorry, but she was just really ignorant to just not even tell, like the whole time I was watching it, I was just saying to my husband, how could Edwina not see that her sister, like what's going on with her sister and Anthony? It wasn't actually that hard to tell, like it was pretty obvious that something was going on. I just think, how could you be so ignorant? There were so many scenes where they're just staring at each other, giving each other a weird look, and then her saying, you need to go and make him like you, like he needs to love you, you need to spend time with him. Like, poor thing, like she's innocent, thinking nothing's gonna happen, and rightly so, she shouldn't think something's gonna happen. But just to miss that, like I feel like, don't you feel like when you're watching things like that, you think, I wouldn't miss that, like I know that I wouldn't miss that. But yeah, it is a TV show, so I just thought she was being a little bit too ignorant. And the fact that like everyone else seemed to see it but her. But then I was also thinking, like, Kate shouldn't have let it get too far. She could tell there was this chemistry with him, and I think she was trying to bury it back and hide it. And fair enough, she's not used to getting or being able to get what she wants. She's just putting what she wants at the back, sacrificing herself for everyone else's happiness, really, and just making sure that her sister is happy instead of her. And also with that whole secret deal and stuff they have with the grandparents and all that, I get why she tries to bury it. But this whole time, when then there's a marriage proposal, and then she's like, no, go ahead, Anthony, like you do it. It's like, wouldn't you think that something's gonna happen one day and it's gonna be just miserable for all of you? Like, all three of them were never gonna win if Edwina and Anthony got married. So like, it would eventually, like she even said she has to move away. It was just a bit tragic for a while. I thought, like, how heartbreaking. Like, how do you get out of this now? It's just too far. It's gone too far. So in the end, obviously, Kate and Anthony ended up together, and it was beautiful. It was a typical, like movie moment. The couple that's right for each other, that just look good together. They're similar. They're so interested into each other more than Edwina, and Anthony. So I'm glad they ended up together. I just didn't like how Edwina acted after that. She just talked really down to Kate. Like, as if everyone thought Edwina was really stupid. But it really wasn't like that. Well, she was actually being a little bit stupid because she didn't even notice what was like the chemistry between the other two. But anyway, I didn't like how Edwina talked to Kate. Yes, she sort of went behind her sister's back in a way, but it was like she still didn't let it get that far. Like, she could have done a lot worse earlier. But I feel like obviously the right thing to do would have been just like, tell your sister, hey, I like Anthony, I think I should be with him. But it is, TV, so we can't have it be all smooth like that. We have to have the drama. Also, on another tangent, how funny was it how the Duke wasn't even there in all this family scenes? So you have Daphne and you have the baby, and then the Duke's never there. It's like, oh, he's at home. You have scenes where like all the Bridgertons are there, and then she's there, but not her husband. Again, it's just funny. But he's going to be in season 3, and I'm really glad about that. I think everyone's glad about that. And then on that note, I think season 3 is going to be about Benedict, which is going to be interesting because I feel like we did not really see heaps on him in this season. Like a little bit, but he was nowhere near in it like how Anthony was in season 1. So it's going to be interesting to see if it's how we're going to fall in love with Benedict, because I feel like I don't really love Benedict at the moment. I don't really care for him. I almost don't know much about him. He was in there a little bit, but like some scenes with Colin, I believe, but I still feel like I don't fully know much about him, and I'm kind of keen to know about him and to see how they go and who his love interest is in season 3. If they go that way though, they're going to build up on obviously Eloise's storyline, you know, Miss Lady Whistledown, like all that. Obviously Anthony and Kate, Daphne and the Duke. So there's a lot that's going to be going on, I think, as well as Benedict being that sort of centre of the story. Okay, now Lady Whistledown. Penelope. I liked her in season 1. This season she just irritated me massively, and it's not just because I know she's Lady Whistledown. She just always irritated me. I just feel like, why are you doing what you're doing? How can you do that to your best friend? And the fact, I'm thinking like, Eloise almost got done and the Queen almost punished her, and like she didn't really do anything about it. I don't get what her motive is. Obviously we found that stash of money and she looked really scared and upset when Eloise was going to find out about, you know, who she was. And also, how come Eloise didn't dob her in and tell the Queen about it, you know, how she knows who she is? I might not have caught that, but I don't believe she told anyone, and I think obviously it's going to happen. I love her like reaction though, how she's like, don't ever come, I hope I never see you ever again. And I don't blame her for that. And I found it sad that Eloise finally met a guy. You know, she's never interested in getting married or anything, and she meets a guy, and then Penelope kind of ruined it for her as well. Then we see in the end that Penelope's not stopping the whole Lady Whistledown thing. Like, you think that's the end of her, maybe. I think it's the start of the end, but clearly she's just still going, and it seems like she's maybe becoming more evil too, in a way, because I don't know if evil's the right word, but she's kind of like loving it now. Like she's almost decided now, you know, I'm gonna commit to this and I'm gonna keep this going. With some of the other characters, I feel like we don't really see much development with Daphne or anything. We don't know much about what's going on with her. Also, there are some other characters I feel have less of a story. So you have like that French lady, Madame Delacroix, Marina Thompson, and I think the Duke's friend Will, that the boxer guy. I feel like they were in season 1 a lot, and the storylines just sort of, they appeared, but it's sort of just, you know. But I guess it'd just be a bit much if they're all in there as well. And they might come up in season 3 or season 4 or like down the track, I don't know. But I just feel like their storylines definitely didn't really develop at all, and I don't think it was necessary, to be honest. I think it was a good balance the way it was written. I honestly feel like what they focused on was, I think, spot on. To focus on, you know, the Sharmas, obviously Anthony, and like having Colin and Benedict in there a bit, Eloise, and obviously Penelope and Lady Whistledown. They had Featherington storylines. I really was not interested in that at all. Lady Featherington, kind of interested in her nephew, or what? Is it meant to be a scandal, or is it normal back in the day? That's what I don't understand. I'm like, is this a scandal, or is this like, okay, like, I don't know. It was whack. I just feel like I connected with, not connected, but I feel like in season 1 I enjoyed Lady Featherington's storyline a lot more. Last season with her husband and everything was a lot better. I also feel like her daughters remind me of Cinderella. I don't know, just get Cinderella vibes. So yeah, that's generally it for season 2 of Bridgerton. Overall, I did really love it. I do look forward to season 3 and meeting new characters and falling in love with different Bridgertons, and for just all the character storylines to grow. I really do feel like it's going to get a lot more dramatic with the whole Lady Whistledown storyline. I feel like the main storylines in Bridgerton is about the love and the romance, but I do feel like it's starting to get a bit more dramatic with Lady Whistledown. And then like hopefully Penelope and Colin are, well, okay, about that. I don't really want Penelope to be with Colin at the moment, because at first you think, okay, you want her to be just her being Lady Whistledown. I mean, I could change my mind later down the track if she grows on me and she redeems herself, and I hope she does redeem herself. But at the moment I'm seeing it like, I don't want her to be with a Bridgerton unless she obviously like uses her powers for good. and her writing for good. That's the only way I could see it turning around for me, as in liking her. I think they're just going to set it up, more for the next book, because I think the one after that is about Colin, actually. So we're probably going to see a lot more of Penelope, maybe even Eloise as well, their relationship, like friendship. Yeah, I hope to see more of Kate and Anthony and Daphne and Simon. It's going to be a really good season, I believe, season 3. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought of my review and of the show. What did you think of season 2? Did you like it? Drop me a comment below and let me know what you guys thought. Thank you so much for watching.